Today for our reading, we are starting with James 2, 12 through 17. So speak and so act as those who are to be judged by the law of liberty. For judgment will be without mercy to anyone who has shown no mercy. Mercy triumphs over judgment. What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if someone claims to have faith but does not have works? Surely that faith cannot save, can it? If a brother or sister is naked and lacks daily food, and one of you says to them, "Go in peace, keep warm and eat your fill," and yet you do not supply their bodily needs, what is the good of that? So faith by itself, if it has no works, is dead. Next is Luke 6, 27 through 37. But I say to you who are listening, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who mistreat you. If anyone strikes you on the cheek, offer the other also. And from anyone who takes away your coat, do not withhold even your shirt. Give to everyone who asks of you, and if anyone takes away what is yours, do not ask for it back again. Do to others as you would have them do to you. If you love those who love you, what credit is that to you? For even sinners love those who love them. If you do good to those who do good to you, what credit is that to you? For even sinners do the same. If you lend to those from whom you expect to receive payment, what credit is that to you? Even sinners lend to sinners to receive as much again. Instead, love your enemies, do good and lend, expecting nothing in return. Your reward will be great, and you will be children of the Most High, for he himself is kind to the ungrateful and the wicked. Be merciful, just as your Father is merciful. Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. May God bless these words to our understanding.
Mercy triumphs over judgment. I don't know about you, but for this year has been a challenging year to believe truly that mercy triumphs over judgment. It's been a challenging year to proclaim that true power is shown in gentleness and mercy and love. I invite you to remember back in January at the National Cathedral in Washington, and the bishop who is leading the service, where the president and the vice president and the first lady and the second lady were present as part of that inauguration week, that have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Republican and independent families, some of whom fear for their lives. Bishop Buddy went on to talk also about the impending promised crackdown on illegals, which really meant people who didn't look and sound like us. Watching the video of that thing, of that service where the bishop stood claiming her power she'd been given by her calling, by her role, to speak directly to those with another form of power. And watching the expressions on the faces of Donald Trump, on J.D. Vance, and listening to the rhetoric afterward about how dare the bishop bring politics into such a service. You've got the president sitting right there. How are you not going to bring politics into it? But I digress. Bishop Budde called for a different form of power, implored the president-elect to use power differently. I'm sure she was realistic enough to know that one sermon was highly unlikely to change the promised policies of the Trump administration. But she held up, there's another way. What is the best way to use our power in the reign of God? Because we all have power. Some more than others, some more willing to use it than others, but we all have power of some sort, to some degree, even if we don't always believe it. What is the best way to use power in the reign of God? But I tell you to love your enemies, Jesus says. Any fool can love the people who love them. Any fool can love the people they get along with. I'm telling you there's a different way. Slight paraphrase. Jesus lifts up the power that comes with being gentle. The power that comes not from enforcing your will, not from passing legislation to say what I think is right is what's going to happen, even if it takes away the rights of some other group. There have been times this year when I have lamented. There have been times this year when I have been outraged because of the way power has been misused by our governments across the world. Power gets misused when we use it to deny the humanity of somebody else, who we usually describe as them. Power gets misused when we lift ourselves up at the cost of somebody else. Power gets misused when the wealthy get wealthier and the poor just hope that their SNAP benefits come through, or that their age doesn't get cut. And over this year, it's been true every year, but this year seems to be a bit more egregious. I've seen power misused over and over and over. I know this year when I sat down to write my piece for the newsletter, whose theme is gentleness, I started out by saying, my heart's not gentle today. It was October 28th. I had just watched our provincial legislature run roughshod over human rights, which they promised to do again shortly. My heart was outraged because you can't escape news from the U.S. Just yesterday, multiple clergy people were arrested in Chicago for standing outside an ICE facility and saying there's a different way to live. The way you're doing things is wrong. Standing in the same courage as Bishop Budde, who said to the president, Be merciful. We live in a strange world where telling somebody to be merciful, telling people to have empathy, is seen as horrific, as seen as misguided. Back in January, we heard people talking about the sin of empathy. Charlie Kirk talked about the weakness, how empathy has made the world weak. Over and over again this year, I've seen a different form of power lifted up. But in the church, especially now as we head toward the Reign of Christ Sunday, and from that, launching into Advent and the promise of a birth of one who will change the world, who will teach us about love, we need to lift up a different form of power. Because power in the reign of God isn't might makes right. Power in the reign of God is empathy. Power in the reign of God is love. Power in the reign of God is gentleness. All those things which don't seem really powerful in the face of empire or border patrol agents. Power in the reign of God is what we use it to lift each other up. The best way we use our power, whatever power we have, is to lift each other up, to build the community, to make it stronger in its diversity, to make it stronger in loving each other, to make it stronger in caring for each other. Even the ones who aren't like us, who speak funny, who think differently, who can't sit still, who came from somewhere else. Power in the reign of God lifts all of us up, builds the community. It doesn't put people down. It doesn't strip away their humanity. It's an upside down understanding of power, because it's not based on the iron fist, even if that iron fist is clothed in a velvet glove. It's just the velvet glove. May God help us to claim our power as individual residents and citizens of God's kingdom. May God help us to live out that power, to lift each other up. And may God help us to have the courage of those who stand in the face of another power and say no. There's a different way. There's a better way. Be merciful. Have empathy. Treat each other with dignity. That's how we live into the reign of God. It won't be easy. It will be frustrating. It will make us mad. May God have us the courage and the patience to live differently. Amen.